Good evening. It's Thursday night, the 5th of November already, and day 310 of my journey to business alignment. After more than 10 months, I'm still living the dream. I can't believe there's less than 2 months left in 2020. Can you believe it? Good grief, how time's flying. Once again, my power statement that I had for today said, see if Kashif finished with the Ask Coach B page, getting that last bug done. If he did, order the 2 programs, bam, appointment.com and Ontoport.com, and then get started on getting those 2 programs integrated into my website so it can go live. Well, guess what? Kashif got everything done. Bam, done. It works. It's beautiful. The Ask Coach B page works absolutely incredibly. Bam, done. So, yep, you're right. I ordered the programs. I wasn't able to remove any of the tasks from the master task list today, except I was able to check off the Ask Coach B page, and I'll tell you why. I had a request come in from a client of mine, like I told you last night, and it took the entire day to get Ontoport ordered, set up, properly working, and me understanding how to work it to do an email campaign. It took almost the entire day for me to learn how to create a new campaign, where to do it, how to save it, and then schedule an email campaign that's tied to the client list. I had to learn how to import those and get those set up so that it can be attached to the campaign. Oh my goodness, what a learning curve. But I pressed through. Like I mentioned last night, that was my goal. I had to get it ready to go before 5 o'clock so I could send my client the proof and he could give an approval. But guess what? I got it done, and I'm so happy with how everything works. It's actually beautiful. Sometime I will do a Zoom call for my video journal entry and show you what I learned about the Ontoport system. It's fantastic. Suffice it to say today that it was a challenge, but I pushed through it and got that campaign designed and the list imported and tagged. So it's basically naming a list. They call it tagged. And the campaign blast was sent. So anyway, here's what I had on my to-do list for today. Oh my goodness, my number one most important task was to check with Kashif to see if he got the last bug fixed on an Ask Coach on the Ask Coach B page so that I can call it done. Check. My fun task for today was to order the Appointment Premium Plan and the Ontoport membership system so we could start that integration if Kashif fixed the last bug of the Ask Coach B page. And my exciting task for today, like I said, was to continue working on the remaining tasks that I am checking off on my master task list after I do the email campaign once I set up Ontoport. I hope I can do this. Well, that's what I had as on my list. Well, during the night while I slept, Kashif fixed that bug, and his 3 tasks are all done and working beautifully. Like I said last night, it's getting down to crunch time. Kashif finally finished everything and that one bug, and now we're ready to integrate those programs, Appointment and the Ontoport system. And so I'm very excited. I'm loving it. I guess I can finally celebrate. Now, let's go over the end of the day's routine. Get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today, or what could you have done today? Did you wake up and start your morning strong? Yes. Did you start your morning with power? Cold blast of water. Kind of combed my hair in that and went to the bathroom, went in and made the bed, went down and read the Win the Morning, Win the Day routine, did my exercise, did my mindfulness time. I did start my morning with power. I felt fantastic this morning. Were you productive throughout your day? I'll tell you, I was. Did you get the most important thing done? I did. I just talked about it. Did you move your goals forward? More pieces through the portal of my mind and manifest into the world of the physical. So cool. Did you show up as the person you wanted to today? I absolutely did. What about your personal time with Kathleen? Were you present? I was present for her. Thursday's a great day. We enjoyed the evening. It was wonderful. And here's my end of the day success routine. Accountability question. Were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? In other words, did you keep your promises that you made this morning? Well, this morning I promised myself that I would check with Kashif to see if he finished fixing the last bug, and he did. Check! I would order the 2 programs. I promised I'd order those 2 programs and get started with them. Check! I also promised myself that I would figure out how to set up, design, create, and blast out that email for my client before the end of the day at 5 o'clock today. And by the skin of my chinny chin chin, I did it. The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Did you make time for them? Well, today, like every morning before it, I watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies. That's the little coin phrase on my movies that I gave it. And once again, like the last 2 mornings, I decided to head up to my office and get after it and not linger downstairs and catching on the news, whatever. Just get it done. I was just too excited about checking to see if Kashy fixed that last bug, and he did. Hoot, hoot. My next question says, what's the one thing that would make all the difference going forward? What one thing can I do better tomorrow? And even if the day went sideways, getting it done, I'd still feel like I was a success. Well, what would that one thing be? And then turn it into a power statement? Well, I really do think that the one thing I can continue to improve on going forward that would make a difference, a big difference in my daily efforts, my daily mentality, my whole day, is to continue working on my thought management, controlling my thoughts, and what I choose to think about my circumstances, especially my response time for choosing my thoughts and feelings, that is making the biggest impact on my days. Using the CT-FAR model would be another way of saying it more simply. It's playing a major role of me doing this, and I need to take a moment here and talk that CT-FAR model of right thinking, response dash ability time, that little hyphen between the response and ability, is the time to do the CT-FAR model. Right thing. I have a lot of circumstances with this election, with my business, with other people I am not in control of, getting things done and timing. Oh, just a lot in my circumstance line. It's my thoughts that determine where I get stuck, or I get frustrated, or I disempower myself, or I sabotage my success, or I empower myself and I serve me the best. Those are all dealt in the thought line, and that produce the feelings and emotions that drive me or depress me or whatever. And that's why I say this is an important major thing in going forward and staying successful. So great. So with that said, here's what I came up with for my power statement for tomorrow. I'll now reach out to Fahad to start on integrating the Entreport.com membership system once I get set up, those setup documents from Darren, who works at Entreport, who's my account manager. And I will get ready and we'll send those by email to Fahad to get done. The next question I answer at the end of every day before I go to bed is, as a part of my end of the day success routine, see, I was being very careful there on that word, success routine, is to ask myself, were there any mistakes or failures that you may have made today that I can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, last night I mentioned the possibility that I may have made a mistake in canceling my Constant Contact account, maybe prematurely. I didn't want to have that same expense in November because I was going to be doing a lot of things, and I didn't want to have another $120 whatever come out. Well, I was able to get the Entreport system signed up for and set up, and after working all day on it, like I told you, I was able to finish it in time for the blast before 5 p.m. Woo-hoo. So here I am doing my end of the day video journal, and I can say, in all honesty, I did it. Bam, done. Way to go, Marty. The next question is, what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? Well, getting Entreport set up and that email blast done and sent was my biggest success today. It's not all the mind things. I mean, that's a big, big, big success, but just that one thing pressed on me so much because I want to keep that client happy. It's about serving them and not me, not what's easiest for me. It's about making him have a sense of my consistency and my dependability, and that builds the trust, and you got to keep that trust. So I pounded it out, and I feel great. Now, let's continue with my end of the day success routine. It's time to rate my day's effort. Reviewing today's effort and what I was able to get done today, finally, I decided to give today's effort a 10. And that's because I worked at the speed of 10 all day, focused on what I needed to get done today, and I got it done. That's why I gave it a 10. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for, and I'm so grateful. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says when we get to the point where we feel, must be tied to a thought somewhere, where we feel we're going to have pain no matter what, That's called the pain barrier. When this happens, we become immobilized and we feel like we don't know what to do. What am I going to do? It's called the pain barrier, like I said. And being a human being that all of us are, we usually decide to take the course of least resistance. Don't we? Let's get honest with ourselves. First step to success is to get honest with ourselves. We usually do take the course of least resistance, which is the least painful alternative course, in other words. We don't want to go down the path that's offering up any kind of pain. And what's worse is that some of us allow this pain, fear of pain or otherwise, to overwhelm us completely. And we experience what's called learned helplessness. Last night, I listed out 3 steps of the NAC, but there are 6 steps of the NAC, or neuro-associative conditioning. And I'll be talking about that over the next few nights. But taking these 6 steps helps to interrupt these disempowering patterns, even when our feelings of being overwhelmed are pounding us. It's incredible. Using the CT-FAR model also helps us to create alternative thoughts and therefore alternative pathways, so that we quit wishing away our undesired behavior and we rewrite it as we repeat this kind of right thinking on that particular circumstance over and over and over again. We, through the CT-FAR model, create our mapping, and then we solidify it and lay it down strong by repeating it. And that's called neuro-associative conditioning, or I basically call remapping. Very simple, remapping, NAC. Taking these steps will interrupt those disempowering patterns, or what I call disempowering wrong thinkings. There are other options. Alternative pathways of thinking that can get us empowered and moving forward and unstuck. These principles lead to the next thing I'm grateful for, which is the law of self-empowerment, which says when we rewire these behavior thoughts with new thoughts of empowerment, we feel and behave consistent with our new empowering choices, our new empowering thoughts, our new mapping. Without changing our thoughts and what we link pain and pleasure to in our mapping, no change will last. There'll be no lasting change. We gotta lock it in. Next, I'm grateful for Orison Swett Marden, who said this: the beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread, but every time we repeat that act, we strengthen the strand, add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably like a flaxen cord. That's how it works. These little strands, that's called mapping, repetitive mapping, until it becomes a strong cord that can't be broke. It's now a big habit. Here's the bottom line to this all. I suggest that you decide what it is you really want going forward, as well as what it is preventing you from having it now. Let me repeat that. I suggest you take the time to decide what it is you really, really want for your life going forward, as well as what is preventing you from having it now. And then we'll talk about it in the future. So another day is in the books, and it's time to go to bed. So until we meet again right here at my laptop, I wish you all continued success. Good night.